Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Monday the 24th of October 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, great day for the market. The S&P ASX 200 closed up 1.5% to 6,779 points, with all sectors rising. The materials stocks led the way. BHP and Fortescue Metals both jumped around 2.5%. The tech stocks also did well. REA was up more than 4%, and utilities and healthcare companies also outperformed. Macquarie Group, Goodman, CSL and Wesfarmers all jumped by more than 2%. Gold Digger Newcrest Mining was up 3%, and building materials company James Hardie Industries rose 4%. That's what I'd call a widespread rally. Battery maker Novonix was up 33% today. That means it's up 65% over the past week. Now, last Monday, the US Department of Energy said it was negotiating with Novonix over a $240 million grant. That certainly got investors excited. Now it has surged. Coal miner New Hope fell nearly 5% after going ex-dividend today. It was the worst of the top 200. Story number 2, floods in New South Wales are still causing major concerns, though the northeast of the state, which has been battered over the past 18 months, looks to be through the worst of it this time anyway. The focus is now on towns like Moree in New South Wales northwest, where floods are at once-in-a-century levels. Premier Dominic Perrottet said 43 local government areas are subject to natural disaster declaration. The Bureau of Meteorology also issued new flood warnings for large parts of Victoria, with more wet weather on the way, and there's also been flooding in South Australia's mid-north and Riverland area. Story number 3. Viva Energy, the company behind Shell and Liberty service stations, has reported its best quarterly sales results since before COVID, and that's on top of a record half year to the end of June. Sales volumes for the 3 months ending September totaled 3.65 billion litres of petrol. Pretty incredible, up 20% from a year earlier. Viva is responsible for about 1/4 of the petrol used across the country, as well as a bunch of other things like lubricants, solvents and bitumen. Basically, it imports, refines and delivers fuels across the country, and it's good business at the moment. Story number 4. CommSec State of the States report was released this morning, and it shows Tasmania and Queensland leading the way in terms of best performing economies. Tasmania is number 1, having benefited from improved rankings in retail spending and housing finance. Queensland at number 2 was the best ever result for the state. Next came ACT, Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, and finally the Northern Territory. The report takes 8 economic indicators, mashes them all together and comes up with rankings. Among the big states, Victoria has strength in retail spending and weakness in population growth. New South Wales has strength in unemployment, but weakness in housing finance. And Queensland has strong relative population growth, but weak equipment investment. And finally, story number 5. Former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has decided not to run for the top job again, leaving Rishi Sunak as the hot favourite to take over from Liz Truss. Mr Johnson only left office 6 weeks ago after a series of scandals, and this morning he said it simply wouldn't be the right thing to do. It seems more likely that he didn't have the numbers to win. Mr Sunak, who was defeated by outgoing Prime Minister Liz Truss last time around, formally declared his candidacy yesterday. He's well liked within the Tory party, but less so by the general public. The only other declared candidate, Penny Mordaunt, needs 100 nominations by members of Parliament by early tomorrow morning, Australian time, which doesn't look likely. That means Mr Sunak would take the top job unopposed. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 24th of October, 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.